Thank you, Arthur. Thank you very, very much. Thank you all, and thank you all for being here. It is a privilege. This is the 5th year that we have done this, and for many of you, it has become a reunion of sorts, and we are very excited for those of you who've been with us. If you're a first-timer, thank you. Welcome. We do have a very big day ahead. Let me just tell you what's on tap before we bring out our first speaker. Here's what we have. We are going to start the day with Eric Schmidt. I could not be happier about having Eric join us, of course, from Alphabet. You knew it better as Google. We're going to talk some politics, as you would imagine, but we're also going to talk about AI and machine learning and how it's going to affect society and how so much of that may have been wrapped up to some degree in the election. He's going to be followed by one of our sponsors, Art Steinmetz of Oppenheimer Funds, who's going to talk about the very theme of this conference, investing and playing for the long term. Then we're going to go one-on-one with a man who has spent a lot of time in the news recently, Roger Goodell of the NFL, and I'm looking forward to that conversation. And then the plan is to go deep on Obamacare, or what's left of it, or the future of it, and the future of healthcare in this country. Mark Bertolini of Aetna is going to join us and spend some time trying to think about how this may all get remade. We're going to talk to Indra Nooyi of PepsiCo, who is in the process of transforming her company. And of course, with the merger of AT&T and Time Warner in the air, we have Richard Plepler here from HBO, a unit of Time Warner, of course, and we have Tom Rutledge of Charter Communication to weigh in on what all of this is going to look like in the future of media. Then we have a special treat right before we go to lunch. We have Noah Kraft, co-founder and CEO of Science 37. He will tell you what that's all about, but I wanted you to see this firsthand because it has a huge implication on where we as a society and healthcare may all be going. After lunch, we will be joined by another sponsor, Patrick Gallagher of NetJets. And then we're going to hear from one of my favorite thinkers. I am so glad he agreed to join us. Clay Christensen is going to be here. He's going to talk about the long term, and it is something to behold when you hear his words. We're going to spend some more time with a guy after that, Howard Schultz of Starbucks, who lives by many of the mantras of Clay Christensen, and he's really thought about what it means to be a modern company in today's age. We're going to be joined after that by Priscilla Chan. It just gets better and better to talk about philanthropy and the $3 billion investment she's going to be making in science. And with her, her new partner in this venture, Corey Bargman, is going to join us as well. So we're going to learn a lot there. And then we're going to revisit Obamacare all over again because we have the woman who's in charge of it. Sylvia Matthews-Burwell, Secretary of Health and Human Services, is going to join us. She's going to be on stage with us along with Bernard Tyson from Kaiser Permanente. So we're going to really try to get an idea of where healthcare is going in this country. We're going to hear from a very special speaker after that, Jen Palka, founder of Code for America. Again, has a huge implication on where jobs may be going in America. We're going to get some insight from Lloyd Blankfein from Goldman Sachs, CEO of Goldman Sachs, on where the markets are going, what this election means, and what the future of Wall Street is ultimately going to look like. And then another treat, as someone who has not spoken publicly, Sherry Redstone is going to join us from National Amusements. Of course, you've read a lot about the Redstone family over the past year, and we will be talking about the future of whether CBS and Viacom come together and what that may or may not look like. And finally, we are going to end the day with activist investor Bill Ackman, who, of course, has also been in the news, both for good and bad. We're going to talk about some of his best investments and some of the ones that have fallen by the wayside most recently. And he's going to say some things that I think will surprise you all. So I do ask for your indulgence, and I hope that you'll stick with us for what I imagine will be a great day of conversations. Before we begin, a final quick word of thanks. This begins, by the way, when we plan this thing out, it starts literally tomorrow for next year. That's how much work goes into doing this. And it happens because Dorothea Harry and Adam Bryan, who's right over there, put this together every year. They run our live events business at the New York Times, and they are tremendous. So my deepest thanks to them. We have a production team we've been working with for 3 years now, DLJ, and they are awesome. Tamara, I don't know where Tamara is. Many of you have probably communicated with Tamara. She's the person who makes all this happen, and my debt to her is immeasurable. This would not happen without her. If you see her, shake her hand. The DealBook editorial team, led by Jeff Kane. You know, this all happens here today, but what we do, hopefully, is thread all of these conversations and themes throughout our news coverage throughout the year. And Jeff Kane runs our group every day and does an extraordinary job. And we have so many reporters here from our DealBook team as well who make it happen. And so our appreciation to them. Dean Murphy, who's our business editor, I believe is here overseeing it all. And Dean Baquet, of course, who oversees the paper. Also, a quick thanks to my friends at CNBC who have helped me with this as well, my producer Kate Rooney, who I also think is here. Mark Thompson, our CEO of the New York Times, is also here, and my thanks to him, along with Meredith Levine, who runs the revenue side of this business, has been an extraordinary supporter of this. Finally, the Sulzberger family, and I think AG might be here as well, in addition to Arthur. They have been supportive of me personally in this project from the very beginning, and I could not be more grateful. Many of you know that I walked into the halls or the doors of the New York Times when I was 18 years old. That was 21 years ago now. And I believe in this institution more today than I ever have. And I want to thank all of you, before we begin all of this, for your support of this extraordinary institution and the news product that we try to deliver every single day. So with that, if I could, let me introduce Eric Schmidt to the table. Eric.